Hello everyone, my name is Ogeneti Drew Mamogo and you are welcome to Oakscheme Academy. Now if you are new to my channel, kindly hit the subscription button below, also like, share and of course avail yourself to the lessons so as not to be left behind. Welcome back. So in today's lesson, we're going to be continuing from our previous lesson under the topic chemical reactions. If you are yet to watch that video, please kindly check it out in my channel. It is titled Introduction Towards Chemical Reactions. Okay, but for today's class, we're going to be learning about different concepts under the topic chemical reactions. So let's move forward. The first thing I'm going to be discussing is what is a catalyst. In our previous lesson, we talked about a catalytic reaction and we said that a catalytic reaction involves the presence of a catalyst. So what is a catalyst? Now, a catalyst can be defined as a substance that alters the rate of a chemical reaction. So a catalyst is a substance that when it is added to a chemical reaction, alters the rate of the chemical reaction. A catalyst is not consumed during the course of a chemical reaction. It only alters the rate of a chemical reaction. So please take note. So that is what we refer to as what? A catalyst. So any substance that when added to a chemical reaction alters or speeds up the rate of that chemical reaction, we refer to that substance as a catalyst. Okay, then we have what are the characteristics of a catalyst. So the first thing to know about a catalyst is that it is specific in action. That is to say, it has a singular purpose. Like I said, a catalyst what alters the rate of a chemical reaction. So that's number one, it is specific in action. Number two characteristic of a catalyst is that it does not start a chemical reaction. So a catalyst is introduced during the course of a chemical reaction. It does not start a chemical reaction. Please take note. The third point is that a catalyst alters the rate of a chemical reaction. So when we say alter, we mean to change. Okay, so it alters the rate of a chemical reaction. I'm going to be defining what rate of chemical reaction is, but just take note that a catalyst alters the rate of a chemical reaction. Then another characteristic of a catalyst is that it does not affect the product formed at the end of the chemical reaction. So a catalyst plays no role in the product formed at the end of a chemical reaction. Like I said, it only alters, it only facilitates or speeds up a chemical reaction. It does not affect the product formed. Another characteristic of a catalyst is that it remains chemically unchanged at the end of the reaction. So it remains what? Chemically unchanged. So for example, let's say we use a catalyst like vanadium oxide. Okay, so at the end of that reaction, it will remain the same. Okay, so that is just its purpose. The essence of a catalyst is to speed up the rate of a chemical reaction. Okay, is to alter a chemical reaction. So these are just some of the characteristics of a catalyst. I hope we understand. Next thing I'm going to be talking about are the conditions necessary for a chemical reaction to occur. So what are the things that has to be in place for a chemical reaction to occur? The first condition that has to be in place for a chemical reaction to occur is maximum kinetic energy. So maximum kinetic energy is required as a condition for a chemical reaction to occur. In physics, we learned that kinetic energy is energy in motion. Okay, so maximum kinetic energy is necessary for a reaction to occur. We're going to go into that when we discuss or talk about collision theory. But just take note that for a reaction to occur, maximum kinetic energy is required. Another requirement is good orientation. That is, the particles must be in the right position. Okay, so for a reaction to occur, there must be good orientation of the particles. That is to say that the particles must be in the right position. Okay, then lastly, another requirement or condition necessary for a reaction to occur is effective collision. Because when we talk about collision, we're talking about the ability of particles to hit each other and the walls of their container. We're going to be discussing this in a further lesson under states of matter and kinetic theory. Okay, so but just take note, for a reaction to occur, there must be effective collision of particles. So these are some of the conditions necessary for a reaction, a chemical reaction to occur. Then we have what we call reaction time. So what is reaction time? Now, reaction time refers to that time needed or necessary for a reaction to occur. So we can simply say reaction times refer to that particular time needed for a particular reaction to take place. So the time necessary or needed for a particular reaction to take place. That is what we refer to as reaction time. So the time necessary or needed for a particular reaction to take place. Then we have what we call reaction rate. When we talk about rate, we're talking about speed. So reaction rate refers to the speed at which a reaction occurs. Or we can simply say reaction rate refers to the speed at which reactants are being converted into products. So that's what we refer to when we say reaction rate. Rate refers to speed, so the speed at which reactants are being converted into products in a chemical reaction. This is what we refer to as what? Reaction rate. And then lastly, we have what we call activation energy. So these are just concepts that you need to be familiar with when we're talking about what? Chemical reactions. So what is activation energy? Activation energy refers to the minimum amount of energy required for a reaction to take place. So that's what we refer to as what? Activation energy. So that minimum amount of energy that is required before a chemical reaction can take place is what we refer to as activation energy. I hope you understand. So please, if there are any questions pertaining to what I've been teaching, let me know in the comment section below. In our next class, we're going to be moving forward under this topic, chemical reactions. I remain your tutor, Ogenetejiro Mamogo. Have a wonderful day.